come from? Is it anything to do with the American serial killer Richard Ramirez, or did you just pluck it out of the air?
No, we took it from one of our songs,
Uh-huh.
because originally we were called Master, and we found out that another band by the same name had got signed. It's nice for them. But
an American one and a British one, so we thought I'd jump that in.
And funny enough, well, no, I won't go into the details, but we all came up with the same answer for the name of the band. We all looked towards our songs, and we had a song called Night Stalker and decided to call the band that, since it was a unanimous decision.
How did the Radio 1 thing come about?
How did it?
Well, our ex-singer and myself were in London, going around the record companies, putting in demo tapes and stuff. And he said to me, "Oh, let's pop something into Radio 1." And I said, "Yeah, okay." And so basically, we entered it in the hope of getting maybe something played. And cut a long story short, they phoned us and entered us for a competition called the Rock Wars. And we ploughed through the heat against two other bands. It was a phone-in vote, you know, after a song by each band had been played. And we won the heat, and then we went into the final, which was a bit more difficult because there were bands who'd gone through the heat like us. But we won that, and we won the final. So we went and recorded a session with the BBC at Maida Vale in London.
And how has that affected you as a band?
Go on.
No, I'm not.
Well, it's given us a lot of experience. Well, it gave us a lot of experience at that time. You know, we travelled to London, worked with you know, a top BBC producer. At the time, we recorded a session, 4 tracks of our own material, which was then played at a later time in the year. Twice, actually, it was played. So basically, we have actually had 10 songs played in all on Radio 1, which I don't suppose is any mean feat for an unsigned band. But you know, we obviously made a bit of royalty off it as well, which is nice to be paid for doing something which, you know, most of the time we usually end up doing things for nothing. But they just gave us the experience, and you know, we got some airplay on it.
How have you progressed as a band since your early days?
How have we progressed?
Yes.
We have taken on a harder edge, definitely, without a doubt. We've changed from those early days of being very Iron Maidenish and going through the motions, and certainly progressed along a punkier vein over the last 12-18 months or so. So it's a kind of a clash between someone like the Ramones and Metallica, I suppose. It's one way of summing it up. A bit difficult to categorise though, because we do give ourselves a scope to do what we like without feeling that just because someone's putting a name on us like heavy metal, we don't think, oh, well, that's what we've got to play. Don't have to. Could write a pop song tomorrow, a rave song or something. Maybe I will.
The
What do you find so appealing about the acoustic sound?
Basically, I think because it's so naked and kind of raw, it actually hopefully gets people to actually listen to what I'm trying to say, rather than the music kind of disappearing and becoming inconsequential and people switching off to it as just a background thing. I mean, I never want music to be as a background music. It should be kind of in the forefront. I'm trying to express myself and say something in the songs and hopefully get people to listen to it. And when it's so stripped down to just guitar and vocals, it is kind of raw, and that's what I find so appealing about it, really. Hopefully people will actually listen to what I'm trying to say, rather than it just being there.
Do you only do acoustic music?
Well, no, I mean, I've played with bands in the past, but find it get a lot more freedom actually playing by myself with regards to I'm free to do whatever I want to do with regards to doing a gig. If I want to just get up and do something, I can do it without having to get the consent of other people. That's not to say that I don't like band music, or that I don't want to do band music, because I do, and I really do believe that a second guitar and a band in general could bring a lot more to certain songs and could bring a lot, make them a lot stronger. But at the moment, I just find that it's comfortable for me, and I feel like I'm strong enough to actually get up and do it on my own, and that's what I find appealing about it. But it's not to say that I won't ever want to do band music, because I really would.
What are your major influences?
Strong songwriters, really, just singer-songwriters who can get up there and sell their soul, really, I guess. To name names, I guess, people like John Cale and Neil Young, Kristen Hirsch, people who have obviously done stuff with bands and are brilliant with bands, but who do have the kind of raw talent and the raw songwriting ability that they can get up and do their own things on their own, and they're still as strong. They don't lose that much because they're written as they were written from scratch rather than bring other influences into it. I guess I don't know if that makes any sense. But people that can just get up there and do it.
What gigs and recordings have you done so far?
I'm kind of in the very early stages before. I mean, I've played gigs with bands in the past which have been okay, but not particularly inspiring. I travelled America in the summer and did a few things. I travelled with my guitar and did just various coffee houses and things in front of people, just open stage things, which is interesting and good experience, especially as it's in a different environment. But at the moment, it's in the early stages. I played in the Welsh club, the Meltdown, last Sunday. I got a really good reaction from them. Got offered, it's not definite yet, but hopefully something will come through with BBC for the Slate, which is hoping will come through. I want to get in touch with Radio Wales and see if I can get some airplay or something on the Mal Pope show or something, and just try and get as much exposure as I can, really. Also trying to get a decent quality tape done, which for me shouldn't be too difficult because it is just me. But if I get that done, I did a photo shoot as well, so I'm just trying to get a package together of stuff which I can actually just get up and get out to distribute to various record companies and actually make work for me, really. But it's in the early stages at the moment. I haven't really got that much behind me, but apart from hours and hours of practice.
What's the main subject matter of your songs?
It varies a lot. I guess women come into it quite a lot, but it varies, whatever inspires me. I mean, I've got books of songs, really, but I don't think you could really put your finger, I write songs about this or I write songs about that, because it's kind of narrow-minded, really.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, I'm kind of open to whatever inspires me, really.
And what are your plans for the future?
To try and get as much exposure as I can now, try and get out and do some more gigs, try and get my name known around Cardiff, so people may actually, when they see my name, come and see me. Try and get a bit of a reputation, and try and make a name for myself around Cardiff first, before, I guess, trying to expand and go further afield. Maybe move to London or something and see what happens, but just basically just try and get as much exposure as I can, get feedback from people, which which is I think is very important, especially now. I find it's encouraging the feedback I've had from people, but I've sat on a lot of my material for way too long without actually doing something constructive, without getting out there and letting people hear my stuff, which is what I want to do now, and not sit back and then just keep pushing forward and see how far I can get, really.